As the September 11th ceremonies continue, we want to turn our focus to first responders and others suffering from 9/11 related illnesses.
On Friday, FBI Director Christopher Wray spoke at the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, where he addressed this very issue.
And we're only now beginning to understand and witness the long-term effects of that work and the full extent of the sacrifices of all of our first responders.
This comes as a New York City law firm is revealing they have around 15 male clients who are suffering from breast cancer, believed to be linked to the toxins from September 11th.
Jeff Flynn is one of those clients. He worked for a data storage company near Ground Zero and helped many financial firms get back up. A decade later, he was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. John Mormando worked as a commodities broker in the area until 2007. He was preparing to complete an Ironman race when he noticed a lump on his chest. Both John and Jeff are here with us today, as well as their attorney, Michael Barasch. Thank you all for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So this is such an important topic because I think that a lot of people have become aware subsequent to 9/11 that there are people who were injured long after the wreckage was removed from 9/11. And yet the kinds of illnesses that have afflicted people have ranged, but we've not talked a lot about male breast cancer. What did when you found out that you had this, what went through your mind?
Well, I was totally floored. You know, we know breast cancer. Obviously, it's a popular disease, unfortunately, but for men, very rare. And I had it in both breasts, believe it or not. Yes, by accident we found it in the left breast.
How did you find it? I thought because women are taught what to do to check for breast cancer, but you guys aren't.
Right. It was dumb luck, I say. Just kind of scratching one day, and I felt something, and I went, "Oh, that feels a little weird," and I progressed it up to my doctors and had a needle biopsy, and then I got that call, that I had invasive ductal carcinoma, which is breast cancer. So very strange. And since then, I'm just trying to get through it. I have chemotherapy that I'm going through, and I'm hoping that it'll all be okay. But it's such a rare disease, and we're just trying to get the word out for men to get checked. It does happen.
Jeff, what about you? How did you discover that you had this?
Yeah, I actually discovered it by picking up. I had a blind West Highland White Terrier. The dog was very old, had diabetes, and had gone blind. Picked the dog up. The dog had hit my left breast, and I felt some pain, and I felt a little lump there, and but I actually thought that it was a cyst or a gland, and I ignored it for a while, and it was the wrong thing to do because it spread to my lymph nodes. As you said, I was initially diagnosed with stage 3C. They had excised 35 lymph nodes during surgery, and 34 of them were cancerous. So the diagnosis was pretty bleak at the time. I was cancer-free for 3 years, and then the cancer returned in a lymph node in my neck, which was inoperable. But I'm on medication now, and I've been cancer-free for, thank you, for quite some time.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great.
And same thing, trying to get the word out to other men because it is very rare, and men tend to ignore and don't see a physician.
And you didn't know that breast cancer could even happen to men.
That's exactly right. Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. That's the crazy thing is, people don't know men could get cancer, and we're here to represent the 9/11 community also because we worked in that area, and for men that are down there, they're at even higher risk. So.
And did you think that you could get that working in the area around the World Trade Center could have this kind of devastating effect on you?
When we were there, obviously the smell every morning we went in was horrific, and we were told the air quality was okay. All our politicians came and said, go back to work, you're doing fine.
The EPA said the air was safe.
This is the EPA. And they called us heroes, and we all ate it up and said, we're doing the right thing, we're getting the economy back going, and when we needed to get back to work, so we did it. But they gave us little masks to put on, little surgical masks, like that was going to help us. So we just did what we had to do, and now years later, we're still seeing a lot of cancers coming through this. So yeah, I do believe there's a link.
So Michael, your firm represents 15 men with breast cancer.
Right.
You know, I think when people started to hear about the toxins and started to hear that there were illnesses associated with the toxins, if it was something respiratory, maybe lung cancer, you thought that's reasonable. People are inhaling all this sort of stuff. I mean, how difficult has it been to get people to pay attention when you're not talking about lung cancer, you're talking about breast cancer or another type of illness that doesn't seem connected?
Great question, Anne-Marie. The World Trade Center Health Program, which was established by Congress after the EPA lied about the quality of air, they have now linked 68 cancers to the World Trade Center toxins. I mean, when they did the autopsy of my client, James Zedroga, they found benzene, chromium, lead, ground glass, asbestos in his lungs.
Oh my
well,
goodness.
if he had it in his lungs, then the residents, the office workers, the students, the teachers, they have it in theirs as well. So everybody in the 9/11 community is looking over their shoulder. Not a day goes by without one of my clients calling to tell me that their loved one has passed away. We're getting 5 to 10 new cancer cases a day. It is horrifying. This is a cancer cluster, and male breast cancer is just one of those rare cancers that doctors haven't seen before. It's supposed to affect 1 in 100,000 men. My law firm alone now represents 22 men with male breast cancer.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking.
It is absolutely heartbreaking. And I guess, John, for men out there who are watching this, how are the ways that you examine yourself the same way that women would do that? What are some of the things that people should be thinking about?
What I would suggest is when you go get your physical, your yearly physical, and most men are programmed to get certain things for men, prostate exams, and women get breast exams. Just get a breast exam too, especially if you're in the 9/11 area, because you're at such a higher risk. But this should be common core for the medical community now. Men are getting breast cancer. It takes no time for a doctor to do a breast exam on a male, right? I mean, it's just simple.
But a lot of doctors don't understand that it's a possibility.
That's exactly right. We need the medical community to understand that this is happening.
And what are the legal ramifications? I mean, you're working with Michael's law firm. What is it that you hope to accomplish? What's the ultimate goal?
Well, my goal was to become part of the registry, so that, God forbid, I lose my benefits one day. I have somewhere I can go to where I can get care for my cancer. Right now I'm employed and I have medical benefits, and that's all great, but we know what the future holds. Right. So getting registered is the first step. And also now there's a big push to get the victim compensation fund pushed longer, because I understand the health fund has many years, but the victim compensation fund, it runs out in 2020. So if you get a cancer after 2020, you're kind of left out there high and dry.
Cancer has no deadline.
Right.
And especially these aggressive super cancers that we're seeing, it's like cancer on steroids. Doctors have never seen them before. So John pointed out that the government created the health program. It also created the victim compensation fund, which we must get extended. And we're going to be back in Washington starting in January to try to get this done, because people are dying, and it's not going to stop.
I mean, it's 17 years later, and we're still seeing a huge amount of cancers.
He's saying that new people are coming to his firm all the time.
Right. And look at this cancer cluster just with male breast cancer now.
Yes.
He's only he's representing 22, but that's just one law firm.
Right.
I mean, we're talking, it could be many others. So
I used to do a lot of stuff with the Komen Foundation, right? And they're a great organization that encourages women getting checked out, women getting early intervention, all that kind of stuff. But it's really geared towards women. And I wonder to myself, do you have the support system that you need? I'm sure within the 9/11 community, there's a lot of support, but this is like almost a separate thing beyond 9/11.
We're hoping to get it going. I mean, that's
So again, I swore that if I survived this disease, that I would try to help other men. I've been volunteering at Adelphi University, and we initially did have a men's breast cancer support group. It disbanded a few years after I started. They're trying to re-up it. They're trying to get it going again.
Men don't like to talk about their health.
They don't.
There's a stigma.
And this one is in particular.
This one in particular, it's a woman's disease. But when they do have a male call, and this is the oldest breast cancer support group in the country. So women call, and it's basically a woman's breast cancer support group. But a male calls in every once in a while. They send the mail my way. So I'm able to help them with my experience. And
that's great.
Yeah, it's very, once you're diagnosed, it's very lonely. There's not a lot for men. So so I appreciate it. I had somebody help me, and and I believe that the people that I've tried to coach through this appreciate the support.
So last week, the New York Post reported on the 15 people that just my law firm represented, and since then, 7 others have come out, and they said to us, I heard John and Jeff talking, and it gave me the courage to come out and admit that I have it too. So I think it's important for your viewers to understand, and just spread the word if you know anybody who's sick. And again, it's not just male breast cancer, it's 68 cancers. This isn't just for the first responders. It's for the office workers, the residents, the teachers, the students. Tell people to get themselves signed up with the World Trade Center Health Program, get free health care. That's huge, especially when you have cancer.
You said 68 cancers. Are many of them as rare as this?
Oh, there are many others.
So they're anomalies. Like it's something that you just don't see.
There are many because they've never seen jet fuel for 99 days. It was cooking all the phones, the computers, the concrete dust. They measured the pH level of the concrete dust. It was the same as Drano. And it was on everyone's skin. So that's why we're seeing rampant skin cancer, lung cancer, esophageal cancer, kidney cancer, and then, of course, prostate cancer and breast cancer.
Which I also had 2 bouts of skin cancer in the last few years myself.
And you don't have to prove it. It's presumed by the health program to be caused by the toxic exposure. That's how big the statistical difference is. So get yourself checked out. You owe it to your family. Sign up for the health program.
It's something we were reflecting as we look back on September the 11th, which is that yes, the debris has been cleaned up. Yes, there's a new memorial there, but what happened on that day is still having effect on us, not just in our foreign policy because we're still at war in Afghanistan, but to just folks like you.
And it's not going to stop. And if your viewers are interested, go to 911victimfund.com. You can learn about the health program, about the victim compensation fund. There's so much information. Take advantage of it.
There's help out there.
Well, we're happy that you are doing better. And that you're cancer-free. We'll be praying for you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for shining a light on
Jeff,
this. This is great.
Michael, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yes, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course.